This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather Ho, there's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Bullet. And your birthday boy for today, August the 25th, is a wide receiver who played 13 years in the NFL for the Indianapolis Colts. Practically, he was paired up with Peyton Manning. He played for the Colts for one season. For only one team, and being a very good player and all that. He was a first-round pick from college and has a Super Bowl ring with the Colts from Super Bowl 41. An 8-time Pro Bowler, he actually had the record at one time for the most receptions in one season with 143 before it was broken by Michael Thomas. Inducted to the Pro Football of Fame in 2016, he's one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. His name is Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison was born and raised in Philadelphia and would attend Syracuse University, playing 3 years, 3-year starter with them. And hooked up with another famous quarterback, not Peyton Manning, but with Donovan McNabb, who people forget went to Syracuse. He had a 96-yard touchdown reception from McNabb in the game against West Virginia. In the 96 Gator Bowl, Clemson was defeated by Syracuse. Syracuse won the Gator Bowl easily, 41-0, and he put up 173 yards in that play. He had the most receiving yards in 1 year by a Syracuse receiver till 2016. And his career receiving yards record was broken in 2017. However, he looked pretty good with 20 receiving touchdowns and graduated with a degree in retail management. So anyway, the 96 NFL draft happened for wide receivers. It was huge, especially with the fact that Keyshawn Johnson went first overall to the Jets from USC. Terry Glenn went 7th overall to the Pats from OSU. And then Eddie Kennison went 18th to LSU, from LSU to the Rams. And with the 19th pick, the Colts picked from Atlanta. Well, Atlanta traded the Colts the pick. They took Marvin Harrison, which actually was a fantastic move. Him, like Keyshawn Johnson, were the wide receivers. Everyone liked it. Of course, that was actually the big move because when the Colts traded Jeff George to the Falcons, Atlanta gave him the first round pick. So the Falcons could have had Marvin Harrison. That draft class of 96 was huge. It had Keyshawn, Eric Moulds, Bobby Ingram, Musha Muhammad, Eddie Kennison, Terry Glenn, Amari Toomer, Joe Horn, and Tio, among others. He made his debut in week 1 against the Cardinals, picked up 6 receptions, 85 yards, and a touchdown pass from Jim Harbaugh, winning the game 20-13. He was named Special Teams Player of the Week in the AFC after his 5 good punt returns in week 2. In week 16 against the Chiefs, he had 6 receptions for 103 yards and 3 touchdowns, winning the AFC Offensive Player of the Week. His rookie campaign, 64 catches for 836 yards and 8 touchdowns. The Colts went 9-7. They went to the playoffs but got crushed by the Steelers, 42-14. Marvin Harrison was part of the 97 squad that went 3-13, but managed to get the number 1 pick, and Peyton Manning came to town on a white horse, if you will. And then it started one of the most productive quarterback wide receiver duels in NFL history. Not even Brady Gronkowski or Brady Welker could be as prominent as Manning and Harrison. Regardless of that, he put up 3 receiving touchdowns in a game against the Niners. He actually ended up injured and missed the Colts' final 4 games. The Colts won only 3 games that year. People forget about that. But in 99, he had the breakout season. Started out right with 8 receptions for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns and a win over the Bills, and then 3 touchdown catches against the Patriots, even though they lost. He was AFC Offensive Player of the Month for September and had 4 straight 100-yard receiving games late in the season. In total, he had 115 catches for 1,663 yards, 12 touchdowns. The Colts won 13 games, won the AFC East when the Colts were in the AFC East before the realignment. And I can't remember how they did. Did they get to the AFC title game? I gotta remember. No. Who beat them? Was it the Titans or the Jaguars? One of those. No, the Titans beat the Colts. Because the Jaguars beat the Dolphins in the divisional round. In 2000, he did pretty well for himself, having a 3-touchdown day on the final game of the regular season against the Vikings, making 102 receptions, making him the NFL leader, 1,413 receiving yards, and 14 touchdowns. He had 15 receiving touchdowns in 2001. Then in 2002, he actually had 20 receptions in a game. He had 27 receptions in a game. Can't remember who he faced, but yeah, the Colts were 10-6. He had 143 yards of catches for over 1,700 yards, which was a mark, and named to his 4th consecutive Pro Bowl. So those 143 catches in 2002 were a record for 17 years before Michael Thomas broke that mark. He would have been AP Offensive Player of the Year, but Priest Holmes beat him to it. Marvin Harrison did quite well for the 2003 Colts. 94 catches for 1,272 yards and 10 touchdowns. He had 2 touchdowns in a play for the Colts in the wildcard round against the Broncos, and then the Patriots sunk them. In 2004, he had 1,100 receiving yards for 15 touchdowns. And then he put up 1,146 receiving yards in 2005. In December 2006, he became the 4th player in NFL history to get 1,000 catches, joined Jerry Rice, Chris Carter, and Tim Brown. And then became one of only 7 wide receivers to get 100 touchdowns in a career. He was an AFC Offensive Player of the Month for December 2006, 12 receiving touchdowns, and into his 8th consecutive Pro Bowl. He actually had 5 catches for 59 yards in Super Bowl 41 against the Bears. No touchdowns, but it didn't matter. The Colts won 29-17. Unfortunately, in 2007, he injured himself and only played in 5 games. It was only the second time he missed regular season action due to injuries, and that was in 1998. He was back in time to see the Colts face the Chargers in the divisional round, but lost on home turf. In 2008, against the Lions, he has 1,095th career reception, making him 3rd all-time. But then, after the Colts beat the Titans 2 weeks later, he became the 2nd. He was 2nd in receptions behind only Jerry Rice. He decided to retire. Well, after the 2008 season, he actually wanted his release, but nobody picked him up, and he quietly retired from the NFL. He was inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2016, and pretty much a great player. For the Colts, 190 games, over 14,500 receiving yards, and 128 touchdowns. In the postseason, he played 16 games, including that Super Bowl run in 2006, the National Summit, with only 2 receiving touchdowns during the playoffs, and that was in 2003. Yikes. He had some NFL records that are of importance. Most receptions in an 8-year period, in a 9, 10, and 11 season period. Well, the 11 season period was 1,022 from 96 to 2006. Most consecutive games with at least 6 receptions and 9 receptions. Most consecutive seasons with at least 6 touchdown receptions. Most consecutive, 11. Short of Jerry Rice and Don Hudson. Consecutive seasons of 1,400 plus receiving yards. He had 4 of them, but that was broken by Julio Jones. Harrison and Peyton Manning hold the NFL record for most completions between a wide receiver and quarterback with 953 passing touchdowns, 114 passing yards, 12,766. First player to get 2 1,600 yards receiving in NFL history, that was 99 in 2002. Torrey Holt, Calvin Johnson, Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, and Justin Jefferson are the others, if you must know. And most consecutive games with a reception to start a career, 190. He has many Colts records for receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns, obviously. Marvin Harrison has a son who's actually was a star wide receiver for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Harrison Jr. will start his NFL career this year because he was drafted in the 2024 draft by the Cardinals. So let's see what he can do. Too bad the Pats didn't have him. Anyway, there were some legal issues and all of that. And all that. So yeah, Marvin Harrison just did well. I wonder if his son is going to be just like him and a receptions machine. We'll see. Anyway, I'm jumping down to do.